Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and today, boy do I have a treat for you. If you love chicken parmesan, and I love chicken parmesan, and if you love mozzarella sticks, oh, do I love mozzarella sticks, well, they're about to collide into a dish that I'm probably gonna call mozzarella stick chicken parmesan, or maybe top to bottom chicken parmesan. You know why? Because this isn't your classic chicken parmesan. So it's basically a chicken parmesan breaded cutlet that we're gonna pan fry. Then we're going to take mozzarella cheese and then add more breadcrumbs on top of that and then bake it for a few minutes. And the thing that is so wild about this chicken parmesan, or mozzarella stick chicken parmesan, or maybe top to bottom chicken parmesan, that name also really suits it, because guess what? You're gonna have a cheesy bottom here where it's almost like its own crust. Do you see this? Look at that. So you're not just getting the cheese on the top, you're also getting it on the bottom. So whether you like it on the bottom or the top, it's not gonna make any difference because you're not gonna stop. It's a very versatile dish to eat, and I cannot wait for you to try it. It's so good. And then at the end, you're gonna sauce it up with your favorite sauce. Usually a chicken parmesan has marinara sauce, but you know what? Like I'm gonna tell you in the video, feel free to use Alfredo sauce or vodka sauce or pesto sauce. Whatever you want. Barbecue sauce might be weird, but hey, if you wanna go for barbecue sauce, I ain't gonna know and I'm not gonna judge. And frankly, I might even wanna try it. And the best part about this dish is not only is it a wow factor dish, it is so easy to make. And it's just next level amazingness. So let's just get a few plates out and create a little dredging station, because we're about to make the most amazing mozzarella stick chicken parmesan. Let's go. I mean, how excited are you for this? Look at this. All right, maybe a little sauce on the top. We'll get to that at the end. We'll do that at the end. Let's do it. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to preheat our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, if that was Celsius, it would be like nuclear hot, I guess. And then we also want to take a saute pan. I suggest a saute pan because it's a pan that has a high wall around it. It helps prevent splatter. Of course, you can also have a splatter guard, but we are going to bread some chicken in a moment, and then we're going to pan fry it. So what I want to do to this pan, saute pan, is add in a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, as well as 4 tablespoons or a half a stick of salted butter. And we want to bring this up to right over here, medium-high heat. Let's say like between a 6 and an 8, that should be good. We want to get that oil heated and that butter melted. Okay, so now let's create an assembly line situation here. So to this large plate, I want to add a half a cup of all-purpose flour. Then I want to take 2 eggs and put them in like a shallow type of bowl. And then I want to take 2 cups, yes, 2 cups, because we're going to be doing a double breadcrumb situation with this chicken. Trust me on this. It's mozzarella stick chicken parm. So 2 cups of panko. Make sure it's panko. I'm telling you, it's going to make all the difference versus regular classic breadcrumbs. Use panko. And I want to add to the 2 cups of panko 1 cup of grated Parmesan and 2 teaspoons each of parsley flakes or dried parsley and a garlic powder or granulated garlic. 1 teaspoon each of onion powder and seasoned salt, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Add that to the bowl with the panko and the Parmesan, and then we're gonna whisk that together, making sure that everything is combined. You know what? This is much easier because I gotta also crack the eggs. And there we have it. Our eggs lightly beaten, 2 large eggs, and all of my breadcrumbs nice and mixed. You see now we have a nice seasoned breadcrumb mixture here, a panko one. You can buy a pre-seasoned panko breadcrumb mix in the market, but I suggest doing what I did because getting the plain ones makes more sense to me, and then to season it up this way, it's gonna give it optimal flavor. Okay, now we wanna focus on the next star, our chicken. We want to use about between 2 and 3 pounds of chicken cutlets. And that's chicken breasts, by the way, that are thinner. We don't want to be more than a half an inch thick on our chicken cutlets, okay? That's about as thick as you want it, like that. A 1/4 inch is also fine, between a 1/4 inch to a half inch thick, but don't make it any thicker than that. If that's the case and you have really thick breasts, slice them in half long ways so you get 2 out of them. Or you can just go to the market and already buy thinly sliced breasts. And I'm actually going to flip-flop this, okay? Because this is gonna be easier if I do it from this direction, because guess what? There's my pan with my butter and my oil heating up, and it's already pretty much there at this point while I prepped all this. So we're about to dredge our chicken and then add it to the pot. And we're only going to dredge our chicken when we're ready for it. So the first step is to place the chicken in the flour, really coat it on both sides nicely. Make sure it's fully coated in that flour. And you can, by the way, use whole wheat flour if you prefer, or quinoa flour, or coconut flour. That'll work too. Almond flour, not so much. It won't be as good. Then we want to put it in the egg, just like this. Get it on both sides. All right. So it's nice and dredged in there. Lovely. And finally, we're going to put it in our panko mixture here. And then this is important. Make sure you really get it nice and coated with those breadcrumbs. All right. You could just throw it on top a little bit too. And now it goes from the breadcrumbs into the frying pan. And we're gonna fry it. I'm gonna lower the heat to like a medium-ish in here. Okay, I'm gonna really be able to fit about 2 at a time in that frying pan. Okay, and after about 2 to 2.5 minutes on each side of pan searing here, look at that. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. That's what we want. This beautiful, beautiful color. Let it rest on a paper towel lined plate. And then just repeat the process with our remaining chicken. Right down the assembly line. And by the way, this is 4 chicken cutlets here, which is about between 2.5 to 3 pounds. They're pretty large size. I want to make sure now I reserve the rest of my breadcrumbs. Okay? Make sure you're not going to throw these away because we're going to use them again at the end when we put it into the oven. Alright? Keep these. And folks, here are my chicken cutlets all resting on a plate. This is perfect. And now we're gonna turn off our stove. We're gonna remove our oil here, let it cool over here so it's not on the burner anymore. The chicken will not be fully cooked at this point, but don't worry. That's why there's a baking step that's gonna fully cook the chicken. And that's all gonna happen when we make it mozzarella stick style. Let's do that. Okay, remember our remaining breadcrumbs that we had? That whole mixture? To that I wanna add in 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then just mix it up with a fork so all the breadcrumbs become nice and saturated with that olive oil. Marvelous. All right. Okay, now it's time to take a large baking tray, and this is so important right here, okay? Make sure you put a piece of parchment paper on top. Don't keep it bare. Don't use foil, even non-stick foil. Use parchment paper. This is so key, okay? Trust me. It's time to now do this exactly how I show you to properly make it mozzarella stick style, or top to bottom chicken parmesan. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take some of the breadcrumbs by hand here, because I have 4 cutlets, right? And I want to just do a little bit of a row here. We're going to do this 4 times for each piece of chicken. All right, just going to do a little bottom layer here. Make sure you do it evenly, okay? Great. Next up is our cheese, and for this I am using mozzarella cheese, which is super classic to a chicken parm as well as a mozzarella stick. And for this type of mozzarella I'm using is the kind you get in the market, obviously in the cheese section, that's sliced as thin as an American cheese. You see what I mean? Just like that. We're gonna use 4 slices of cheese per chicken cutlet. I know, I'm not messing around here. So what we're gonna do is we're first going to take 2 pieces and cover each little layer of breadcrumbs, and we're gonna just continue this. So I'm doing 4 cutlets, that's 16 slices of cheese. Make sure you leave a little bit of a gap like I said. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to take each of my chicken cutlets and I'm going to lay them down on top of the cheese. Okay? Okay, look at that. Perfect. You with me so far? Super, super easy. Then we're gonna cover each piece of chicken with another 2 slices of cheese. That bottom layer of cheese that chicken cutlet is resting on top of the breadcrumbs, is what's going to form that unbelievable crusted bottom layer there. That cheesy crusted bottom layer. You're gonna lose your mind when you see what it does. All right, just like so. Perfect. A little diagonal there. And then take those breadcrumbs again and then sprinkle them on top generously of each chicken cutlet. It's okay if some falls onto the baking tray, that's fine. And don't worry that raw chicken touched this, because again, this is going into the oven. It's going to be baked for about 8 to 10 minutes. You don't have to use all the breadcrumbs. You can use really as many or as little as you want. But honestly, this is what gives it that nice layer. Just make sure it's kind of patted down on the chicken. Okay, that looks fantastic. Okay, now it is time to open the oven, which has been preheated. My oven luckily has a little drawer here, which is nice. And I'm about 3/4 of the way up the rack here. Not quite in the center, not quite at the top, but 3/4 of the way up. I'm going to rest my mozzarella stick chicken parmesan, soon to be, on the rack put it in there, and we are going to bake this for between 8 to 10 minutes, all right? 8 to 10 minutes at 425 on about 3/4 of the way up in there. So as the chicken's baking right now, you might be like, well, Jeff, you didn't put the sauce on. And that's right, that was deliberate. Because the sauce is gonna come on at the very, very end. If we put the sauce on now, it might get a little bit soggy with the breadcrumbs. I don't want that to happen. Plus, this is just like a better way of controlling how much sauce you really want to add. Now, obviously, a marinara sauce is classic to a chicken parm as well as mozzarella sticks for dipping, but I'm not going to hold you to that, and whatever you want to do, you do. Instead of marinara, you can use Alfredo sauce, you can use vodka sauce, you can use a meaty bolognese sauce, or a pesto sauce, whatever you want, the sky is the limit. I just simply suggest putting it in a microwave-safe bowl, popping it in the microwave between 30 to 60 seconds. You can use between 1 to 2 cups worth. If you feel like you didn't have enough, you can always add more. It's totally up to you. But just prepare your sauce now by putting it in a microwave-safe bowl and heat it up in the microwave, or just heat it up on the stove, whatever you want. So 10 minutes have passed, and I am now going to open up. Oh yes, that looks fantastic. Okay, pop this tray on top of your oven. Oh, that's gonna be so good. And just look at these gorgeous mozzarella stick chicken parmesans. So just let these rest for about a couple minutes, no more than 2 minutes. So here's the genius part about this dish. Not only is the cheese on the bottom like one of the greatest things in the world because it's gonna have like a cheesy, crusty vibe to it, but look at how easy it's gonna be to serve with the parchment paper there. This is all thanks to the parchment paper. Look at this, just comes right up with the cheese intact. So you're gonna have the cheese from the top to the bottom, and you can just easily scoop and serve. Look at that, goes right underneath. Scoop and serve. And now we're gonna sauce it up and put the finishing touches on. Oh my god, let's just do it. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay, so now what I wanna do is I wanna take my sauce, whether it was this, which is marinara, or an Alfredo. I don't like to put too much sauce on mine. I feel like this is just the right amount here. Just spread it out a little bit. If you want to put on perhaps like a dusting of some extra Parmesan cheese on top, just like a little bit of a sprinkle, have at it. Why not? It is mozzarella stick chicken Parmesan after all. And there it is, my friends. Mozzarella stick chicken Parmesan. I mean, it's really just a chicken parm with the cheese that's just like been extra on there with this cheesy crust. Look at this. It's like a crusted cheese bottom. All right. Now for a little moment of truth, let's just make sure it's cooked properly. I'm gonna cut into the center and look at this. Perfectly cooked chicken, juicy. Look at that, gorgeous. Of course, always make sure your chicken is fully cooked. It should be 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, now we're ready to serve this up and try it out. I cannot wait. And there it is, my friends. I just took a piece and cut it up a little bit for myself, and I gotta get a piece with that really cheesy bottom. Look at that. Okay, let's do it. I mean, it's chicken Parmesan, mozzarella stick style. Because you have the chicken cutlet when it's nice and breaded. And then we do that double-sided layer there of the cheese, about 4 slices of mozzarella. American cheese slice, and that's not anything too crazy there, right? And then we do a little bit of a breadcrumb situation again, throw it in the oven for a few minutes. Oh, this is food nirvana. The chicken is tender, juicy, simply spectacular. It really does have the best of both worlds with the chicken parm and mozzarella stick, because again, like how the whole cheesy situation. I'm sold on this. I think it's amazing. I strongly suggest panko breadcrumbs for this. Or if you'd rather not do panko breadcrumbs in the beginning when you pan fry the chicken, you can use regular ones there and then just use panko breadcrumbs when you do it at the very end, because the end is where they really, I feel like, need to have that crunch to it, you know? This is what it's all about, my friends. Now, of course, you can serve this over pasta, and if you were doing it over pasta, I would say start cooking the pasta Basically, when you start pan frying the chicken, because when it's done, just put it in a colander, let it rest. You could rinse it under some cold water because it's not like we're marrying it to a sauce. It's gonna go over it. That way it won't dry out. But, I mean, I could just lick my plate clean for this. Okay, I'm gonna have another piece. But I wanna show you, because this is the dead center of one of the pieces of chicken. Look at this, my friends. Look at how perfectly this chicken is cooked. The perfectly cooked chicken is a joint effort. It's teamwork here of both pan frying the chicken and then popping it in the oven. So you do need to do both, or that chicken might be undercooked, especially if it's on a thicker side. This is actually a thicker piece. This is like a, might even be pushing about 3/4 of an inch. I mean, they say every inch counts, and in the case of chicken, it kind of does with a chicken cutlet. I might have pushed the limits a little too much, but it cooked perfectly. But I did let it go in the oven for about close to 10 minutes, not just 5 minutes. You can also, by the way, if you really want a golden top here, when you put it in the oven with the mozzarella cheese, put the oven rack higher, closer to the top, like 3/4 of the way, or you could up the temperature to 450 instead of 425, but don't go on broil. If you go on broil, it's gonna burn the breadcrumbs, and your chicken won't probably be done in time properly. Again, 165 degrees for chicken, that's the rule, and it should not have any pink in it. Don't let it have any pink. Look, I'm just gonna take a bite of it like this. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, my friends, if you enjoy recipes that are creative and kind of outside the box a little bit, and also simple. This is not hard to do. This was not hard at all. I did this on myself while filming myself doing it. It's not hard. Well, I have a treat for you, because if you're into the Instant Pot, which this isn't, by the way, because I do other things, I've written not one, the blue one, not two, the yellow one, which is comfort food. The blue one's lighter meals, by the way. Not 3, the orange one, which is my original book, but 4, which is my super shortcut book. That's the green one. There are a rainbow of delicious books here of flavors, all easy. Every single one of my books have gorgeous color step-by-step photos, as well as a timing bar, so there's no guesswork at all, none, for what any recipe should be like, or what it should look like when it's done, because every single recipe in my books has a final shot of what it should look like, and I made them myself, and I'm an amateur, so if I could do this, anybody can do it, alright? Anybody can do it. Check me out at Facebook. That's facebook.com/pressureluckcooking, and yeah, I'm a little bit old school that way. I apologize for all those awful bots that are like popping up now everywhere. Like, come on, get it together, FB. Find something to get these things out of here. Just ignore those people. If they say, oh, please send me a friend request, you're so beautiful, I look at you every day, and have little roses in there, just ignore them. They will be banned. They eventually get pushed away. Don't worry about them. Just don't engage. Of course, at Pressure Luck Cooking, follow those handles on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, because you have videos just like this. There are tons of instructional, simple how-to video tutorials on how to, work your way around the kitchen and make things really simple, easy peasy. Mwah. And at Instagram, the same thing, at Pressure Luck Cooking, all those things. Thank you so much for watching again, my friends. And the next time you go into the kitchen and you want to make something really ooh and ah and get your game on, well, it's all about doing some mozzarella stick chicken parmesan. Enjoy this one. Wow, look at this. Look at that! Isn't that gorgeous? That's gorgeous. It's like a sandwich. You could eat it like a sandwich almost, but use forks and knives. Until next time, my friends, enjoy.